Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Becca and today I'm doing a get ready with me. So today I have a big day of filming. I have a video to make that isn't for YouTube. I have my weekly videos to make and I'll probably do a vlog update at some point today. I also have the Priory of the Orange Tree live show later today and I have a few other things to do that isn't video related. But I thought that while I was here I would do a get ready with me because somebody has actually requested that I make a certain type of get ready with me, but I'm kind of thinking that I want to make that style of video more of a montage. And I know a lot of you guys compliment me on my makeup all the time and that's why that particular video was requested. I'm being really like vague about that for no apparent reason. So I thought I would do like a chatty get ready with me where I show you the products I use and things, and also we'll talk about some other things. So I'm holding this brush for no reason because I don't need this yet, but essentially on my Twitter I did put a tweet up that said if there is anything you want me to discuss in an upcoming video, just pop it in here. And I'm thinking that if you guys like this, we can make it more of a series, because I don't typically do discussion videos, but I did do the booktube real talk tag not too long ago and you guys seemed to like it and wanted more discussion based videos from me. So in my vlogs I tend to just kind of do like my daily life things. I'm just gonna start my makeup while we're talking, but that doesn't really leave any room for discussion. It's not a place where I tend to discuss things. So I thought if there was any issues that you guys would like me to address, whether that be community issues or behind the scenes stuff, how I make videos, advice on anything, then you could suggest that to me, and if I do a get ready with me then I will address those matters. So before I continue talking, I will show you my foundation. I use MAC Pro Longwear foundation in the shade NC40. So I didn't get too many responses on Twitter and I didn't think I would, because you kind of have to have a very large audience to get a wide pool of questions etc for these things, but we'll work with what we've got. And like I said, if you have anything that you would like me to address, then you can just pop it in the comments. So I'm just gonna pick my first topic and then if we have time I'll pick more. Gotta be real with you guys, I've done a get ready with me before and I decided not to post it because I just didn't really like my attitude in it. Like when I'm distracted with other stuff and I'm not really thinking about what I'm saying, I could say all sorts of random stuff, and yeah, I just decided I didn't even look at my footage, I just didn't post it at all. So we'll see how this one goes. First up, Steph from the channel Steph's Romance Book Talk asked whether I think that we should be giving trigger warnings or not in books, and this is a poignant topic at the minute. Actually, I think it was just yesterday that an author on Twitter, I won't tell you who she is because to be honest I don't remember, but she said that she doesn't think it's necessary to give trigger warnings, and if other people want to then that's their choice, but she won't be giving trigger warnings for any books that she reads or for her own books. So this has led to a discussion about whether we should give trigger warnings at all, and obviously a lot of people say that we should. And I feel like before I start with discussion videos, something that you should kind of know about me is that I'm not an emotionally driven person. And what I mean by that is that I can look at a situation and remove all emotion from it, sort of look at it more objectively, and I'm very good at seeing both sides of a story. I probably would have been good with a career in something crime related if I was at all scientifically minded, which I'm not. So next I have the Pro Contour palette from Makeup Revolution. As you can see, I tend to only use this shade for my contour. I'm not very good at contouring. I should probably mention I'm not good at makeup at all, so don't copy this. If you're looking for makeup tips, this is not the place to come for it. So I can look at things without any real emotion attached to them. I am not somebody who is triggered by things in general. I don't have any mental health issues, like no more than the average person. Like I don't struggle with mental health on a frequent, like daily basis. And I'm lucky enough that I haven't really suffered any trauma in my life. So trigger warnings are of no use to me personally. However, I definitely understand that they are of use to other people. And I do feel like there is a line between triggering and making people uncomfortable that some people don't understand. So a trigger will elicit a very strong emotional response in people, whereas there are things that I will find uncomfortable to read, but they're not triggering, they just upset me a little bit, but I'm fine. Like I can deal with it, I'm fine. So obviously you don't want to make people react negatively past discomfort. So you don't want people to have an anxiety or a panic attack based on something that's in a book. So I definitely think that trigger warnings can be very useful, and in a lot of cases would be necessary. Next I go for powder. I use MAC Studio Fix in the shade NC42. In regards to me giving trigger warnings personally, I try. I know a lot of people can see trigger warnings as spoilery, and I do understand that. So I feel like trigger warnings should be given with no context. For example, I recently did a review in my wrap up for Lucas by Kevin Brooks, and in my review I said that it contains trigger warnings for substance abuse, rape, attempted suicide, bullying. Is there murder? There's definitely assault in there. And one of those is a spoiler, but you don't know which one it is because I didn't give you any context. So I feel like when giving trigger warnings, it should kind of be listed off like that, where you have no context. So if one of them is a spoiler, like, you don't really know. As for me personally giving trigger warnings, I find it difficult to give them because as somebody who is not really triggered by things, I find it difficult sometimes to know what is a trigger warning. And so I try my best. If I find anything that I feel is triggering, I will try and mention it, but I am also a lazy reviewer. I do in-depth reviews. My wrap-ups are more of a collection of quite lengthy reviews actually, as opposed to just saying I read this, I liked it. But by lazy reviewer, I mean I don't make notes at all, which is why I started doing book diaries, because that meant that I could review books without having to make notes and collect my thoughts afterwards, because I'm just too lazy for it. Like, I try my best, I try and remember everything, but if I read a book at the beginning of the month and it comes to the end of the month and I'm trying to do a wrap up, and I might not remember all of the trigger warnings. So I do try, but a combination of me being lazy about it and not being triggered by very much, sometimes I do find it difficult to be able to give trigger warnings. But I definitely think that they're valid and they should be given. I tend to say as many triggers as I can remember and say just be aware that this book does have triggering elements, and if you are triggered by anything, then look into a full list of trigger warnings before you go in. And that's kind of where I stand on that. I feel like it's very difficult for authors to be on Twitter because it's a very useful tool for them, but at the same time they do tend to ruin it for themselves a lot. Okay, so now I do my eyebrows, and I use, there's nothing left on this, but this is the Makeup Revolution Pro eyebrow palette in the shade, I think medium to dark or light to medium. It's the Ultra Brow palette. I'm not going to show you the inside of this because it is actually disgusting, but this is what we're using, and I have like a little angle brush. So the next topic was asked by both Rachel from Rachel Marie Book Junkie and Cody from Cody's Book Corner, who are both my booktube besties. They asked me about consistency and how I stay so consistent with my upload schedule, and Cody also asked kind of like time management, like how do I stay consistent, have a life, run a business, have a full-time job, and all that kind of situation. So once again, I feel like to answer this question, you have to know a little bit about me as a person. I should not be doing my eyebrows from like this far away without glasses on, just saying. So as a person, I'm a workaholic. I would not necessarily recommend doing what I do because I definitely don't have enough downtime. I don't allow myself to have enough downtime. Also, if you can hear weird noises in the background, all of the animals are washing themselves right now, so it's just wet slurpy noises everywhere. So I know about my personality, I get overwhelmed quite easily, so I like to plan things out in advance. For example, I will sit at work planning out my evening, so I'll think of all the things I have to do. I have a happy planner as well, so I do plan. I think of all the things I have to do and all the things I want to do. And I found that what works best for me is to intersperse things that I have to do with things that I want to do. So for example, if I have to come home and do the laundry, I'll say, right, make dinner and do all like your usual stuff, read 3 chapters of your book and then put the laundry on. And that is kind of how I schedule my days. I've noticed that I can get really overwhelmed if I don't schedule things, and consistency part of this is that I essentially remove as many decisions that I have to make as possible from my life, and I have to do that to get stuff done. So I make things not optional. So my upload schedule essentially It's not optional, it's non-negotiable. I have a video, it goes up Thursday, Sunday, Tuesday. That was like a really odd way to say the days. And occasionally I'll put a book diary in between, but my YouTube channel is not optional. My schedule is non-negotiable. And my eyebrows are really fucking thick. And this is why you shouldn't do a get ready with me, guys. You fuck everything up. And that is pretty much how I stay consistent. I just remove my own options, essentially. I do the same thing with the gym. And I'm not in a regular gym schedule at the minute, and I need to be. And I also make that like a non-negotiable thing that I do. Running my business, the same. Obviously, people give me money and I provide them with candles. That is non-negotiable. I have to do that. It's a contract between buyer and seller. That again is non-optional. But regarding time management and how I actually get all of this stuff done, I don't have a social life. For eyeshadow, I have the Makeup Revolution Colour Spectrum palette. This cost me like 15 quid. Well, actually I received it for Christmas, but I specifically asked for it because it was on sale. Instead of £30, it was £15, and it has over 100 colours. So this is what I use. And I'm going for like a neutral-ish look today because I have a few videos to film and I'm not in the mood to try to match my outfit to crazy eyeshadow. The main brush that I use is a big fluffy ass blending brush, and we're just gonna get right in. So I essentially live in the middle of nowhere. I can traverse around via car. I drive, but I didn't grow up in this area that I live in. I grew up in a town, and when I went to uni, my parents moved over here. After uni, I moved back home and I met my boyfriend, and now I can't leave, essentially. So my best friend, I don't want that colour. So my best friend lives 100 miles away from me, and it's Ryan. I'm sure you've seen him before. So I see him quite rarely. I don't really have any friends in the area that I live, and I spend the rest of the time with my boyfriend. So I don't have things like that. I also don't watch a lot of TV anymore. I mean, I do keep up to date on certain shows and make sure that I watch them every week, but I don't spend a lot of time binging TV, and I spend a couple of like evenings a week playing Xbox. To do the outer edges of my eyes, I use the brush that comes with the Naked Smoky palette, and I use the fluffy end. All fluffy brushes, that's pretty much all I use. So essentially I get a lot of stuff done because I don't have much else going on for me. I mean, I have got to a point in my life now where nearly everything that I do is productive. Even down to the fact, like, if I'm playing video games, I play for achievements. So I make that seem productive, and that is the way that I like it to be. Because I started YouTube, when I first started my channel in summer 2017, I had just started going to the gym. Like, I was very overweight. I still am overweight, but I was really unhappy with myself, and because of that I'd started developing a touch of social anxiety. If we were heading into Manchester for any reason, like, I'd sometimes have panic attacks. So I had like a lot of social anxiety, and because of that I started going to the gym, and I lost quite a bit of weight and started to feel a lot better about myself. And I'd started watching BookTube in April 2017, and I was watching mainly, like, I think one of the first booktubes I really started watching was Ali from Hardback Hoarder, and I really like tag videos, and like I found myself, I feel like everyone does this, I found myself answering the questions to the tags. I joined BookTube. I had very low self-confidence because I felt like my life lacked purpose. I was just sort of meandering around. There's not a lot. I'm comfortable in my job because it allows me to run a business and have a YouTube channel, both of which give me extra income. But my job is low paying and it doesn't have a whole lot of growth in it. So I kind of felt like I was just plodding along through life and I wasn't making any progress and I was stagnating. So I started YouTube, and that really helped me. I have a lot more confidence. I'm a lot more eloquent. It had gotten to the point where, like, because I didn't interact with a lot of people all the time that I wasn't familiar with, like, I didn't really go out and interact with strangers or spend hours talking with friends, that my speech was quite, like, I'd get tongue-tied a lot, and I still do now. I still get tongue-tied a lot. And YouTube helped me in all of these aspects. So making YouTube like non-negotiable was like really great for me, because YouTube gives me purpose. Because instead, like, people say I go to a lot of concerts, but like I said, I don't have a social life. So I don't spend a lot of money. I don't go out drinking. I don't go to cafes with my friends or get food out. I do with my boyfriend occasionally, but not like on a regular basis as a social thing. So I go to concerts and like we make a big deal out of it. Like we'll go into a city, we go shopping, we get some food, and we go to a concert. Sometimes we stay over, so we get like a couple of nights away from home. But essentially YouTube and having a business and all this other stuff keeps me ticking over in that time. My eyeliner is a MAC gel liner in the colour Black Track, so just black, and I have a MAC brush to apply. So if you guys, sorry, I gotta be down here for eyeliner, and don't mind the way that I put it on. So if you guys ever wondered why or how I'm so consistent and seem to get a lot of shit done, I don't have a whole lot else going on. So that is how I get my YouTube videos up and my candles out, by doing not much else. Cody asked for tips on how to be more productive and consistent, and I highly wouldn't recommend cutting out your social life just to be better at YouTube, because just no. It all depends on your mindset, because like I said, I make it non-negotiable and that works great for me, but for other people it would just suck all of the joy out of it and put so much pressure onto it that you don't want to do it at all, which is completely understandable. So that might not work for a lot of people. A lot of people say they can't handle a consistent upload schedule, and that's absolutely fine as well, but that's what works for me. Rachel also asked, how do I carve a brand out for myself and stand out online? And honestly, I have a degree in advertising and marketing, so I kind of know some things, but I find branding very difficult because I have a brand, I own a brand because I have a business, so I know how to do that stuff. But YouTube is different because you turn yourself into a brand. I am my own brand. I have branding, I have channel art, people tune to my channel to watch me specifically, so I am a brand. And guys, like, people always say like, this is so on brand for me, and I don't know what my brand is. So like, if you guys want to tell me in the comments what you think my brand is, then that would be great, because when you turn yourself into a brand, it's very difficult, because I'm an honest person, I'm straightforward, I don't bullshit. I mean, I'm not nasty, but I'll give you the truth. Like I said, I can be quite objective, so like, it's my opinion, but I try not to let emotion and things play into stuff like that. Having a brand, or being a brand should I say, is difficult, because as a brand you have to do what's best for the brand. You have to always be on brand to be consistent and true to your brand. So being a brand can be different, because I'm, like I said, somebody who's always honest. I don't shy away from things, and this doesn't happen often. But sometimes, like, let's just say, for example, booktube drama, I may have something that I want to say that people might not like. I'm not telling you what makeup I'm using. My mascara is NYX double stacked, so it has the fibre things with it. And my blush is a MAC mineralized brush in New Romance. For example, if there was a situation with drama and, you know, like, I'm not an argumentative person in the sense that I'll just go starting drama, but I am incredibly reactive. I don't stand for bullying and shit, but it tends to only be in a way where if nobody else is standing up for one person, then I will. But you know, like, if somebody else has got their back, I'm cool with not saying anything. So in a drama situation, something might annoy me and I might want to be like sassy as hell and share my opinion, but I don't, because that like reflects badly on me, because not everybody will agree with that opinion. And I find that this normally happens on Twitter. In my YouTube videos, like, I'm generally quite frank, and that is because I have the space to explain myself, so that if you don't necessarily agree with what I'm saying, which you don't have to, you can still understand that it's not coming from a place of malice, and that I see the other side of the thing, or whatever it is, as well. Whereas in a 240 character limit on Twitter, you can't do that. As for standing out, I don't know. Do I stand out? Do I? Like, do I? That's a genuine question, because I don't see myself as particularly different from any other booktubers. I've made it quite clear that I like regular staple booktube content and things like that, and I would happily, like, if you could give me a month's worth of staple content, like a regular schedule. So for example, you go like haul, TBR, wrap up, recommendation, tag, vlog, and like for the whole month, I would stick to that schedule. I would love it, because like I said, I like to remove as many decisions from my life as possible. So I don't know. how to stand out. I don't think I particularly do stand out. I am applying lipstick and talking at the same time. Oh no. For those of you that wondered, this is a hot mess. No. This lipstick is the Makeup Academy Luxe Velvet Lip Lacquer. It's matte and it is in the shade Tranquility, and it'll dry like less pink than it is right now. So that's my makeup done, but yeah, sorry Rach, I don't know how to stand out. I kind of just do what I do, and you know, at the end of the day, I made my YouTube channel for me to work through some of my own issues. It has grown so big, it's not intentional that it grew so big. Obviously I'm glad that I have an audience, like I'm really grateful for you guys, but this wasn't what I went into YouTube wanting. I just wanted a project and some purpose. So everything else is just a bonus, but I never came into this with the intention of being an influencer or creating a brand. So all of that stuff I feel is kind of built on your guys' opinions and interpretation of me, as opposed to anything that I'm intentionally trying to put forward. But I've got my makeup on now. That was a long discussion, but I'm gonna go film some YouTube videos, and thank you guys so much for being here and listening to me ramble. If you have any questions about either the makeup I've used or anything I've discussed today, or you would like to recommend any topics for me to discuss in a later Get Ready With Me, then please pop them down in the comments. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to. And if you head into my description box, you'll find a link to my Goodreads, Instagram and Twitter if you'd like to follow me on any of those, as well as a link to my Bookish body butter and candle website, the Instagram for that, and a 10% off discount code. But that's it from me today. Bye!
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you're a go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.